The Canon EF 15mm f2.8 fisheye is a 180 degrees diagonal fisheye lens made for the 135 format. Launched in 1987, it discontinued after the introduction of the Zoom EF 80 15mm f4L, as this 15mm prime still sports a larger f2.8 aperture for low-light photography and arguably better image quality, thus still being on my kit until this day. At 73 by 62mm of 330 grams of mostly metals and glass, the first thing we notice on the EF 15mm f2.8 fisheye is the size and design scope, the same as the vintage 35 f2 we saw. Built around a metal barrel housing the optics, finishing in part with plastics at the rear, this lens is as easy to use as any other prime. Just mount it on your camera and you're good to go. At their center we find a manual focusing ring, thin, rubberized and somewhat precise, despite not offering a full-time operation. It must be disengaged from the internal optics via a lateral switch. And inside, Canon supplied with an arc format motor, built around the lens optics, that is noisy and slow, despite proper to-shoot action. At the front, the non-removable metal lens hood is incompatible with filters, that must be fitted inside the metal mount, using square gels at up to 3 sheets at a time. So this is your standard fisheye lens, as seen from the rest of the market. Small, easy to use, great to always be with you. But the images are always interesting, raising the question, is it time to add a fisheye lens to your kit? Let's take a look. The named element in 7 groups optical formula, sporting a 5 straight blades aperture and no specialty glass. What the EF 15mm f2.8 fisheye delivers optically is great, one of the best fisheye lenses on the market, despite the older design. There's simply little to grow from here. High-resolution images at all apertures thanks to the optical design that can make do with the geometric distortion, obvious chromatic aberrations as the large diameter optical elements try to focus all 180 degrees diagonal view on a squared image sensor, but good, almost impressive contrast, flaring and color balance, much better than any GoPro or third-party alternative. Wide open, the resolution is simply great. It's easy to see details all the way to the edges of the frame, good for working under low light inside closed venues, shows, action sports or creative shots, as the 20 cm minimal focusing distance allows for interesting near-far compositions. Stopping down doesn't really enhance clarity, as it is already small at f2.8, but do make it clear that the simpler 5 blades aperture is in use. You can see a pentagon-shaped highlight made to render perfect stars on strong light sources. The obvious aberrations are easy to fix, mostly being lateral, actually visible on even the newer L series. But what strikes us the most is actually the overall image look, that is pleasing despite the fisheye distortion, not really compressing the corners. Interior shots of design, street photography, landmarks and even some portraits look great, no matter the obvious distortion. So overall, this is an easy to recommend lens, actually kind of legendary on the full frame market. No other lens delivers this ease of use and optical performance at this price point. So if you have the need for simply the best fisheye images, you shouldn't look any further. Just add it on your kit and nice shooting.